What do you get when you have falling sales, a huge listing inventory, and buyers too scared to purchase property? You get the Greater Toronto Area's real estate market. Right now, we're in one of the strangest real estate markets that our city has seen, but this is not a dead market. This is more of a nervous market. And at the end of the video, I'm going to share with you my predictions for this upcoming spring. And if you are considering buying or selling, make sure to call me. And if you're a real estate agent looking for a great brokerage to support you with your business, make sure to reach out to me to learn more about eXp Realty. Yes, the Bank of Canada has dropped their interest rates, but this is not about interest rates anymore. From being in the field every single day, we saw a pretty positive start to the year. The activity was decent for the most of January, but it was just around January 20th, once the conversations around tariffs started to take place, that's pretty much when activity paused, and we saw the number of showings start to decline. We also saw the number of offers started to decline, and at the same time, we had more listings that were being introduced to the marketplace, and that has resulted in us being in this market right now where we have all these listings for sale. We don't have too many buyers. Surprisingly, the number of sales still remains to be slow as it was in February. February saw the lowest number of transactions in the resale market in the past 20 plus years. And we're looking at the spring market with a bit of pessimism, wondering when is this going to end? When will buyers actually be ready to pull the trigger? And when will buyers feel comfortable not only looking at properties, but making offers and moving forward with them? Because so far it's looking like 2024 was definitely better than 2025 as we enter the spring market. I remember around this time last year, with the exception of condos, if you listed a property and you priced it competitively, it would sell within 7 to 14 days. Although in this market, even if you're to price your property competitively, if you're to get an evaluation for your property, your evaluation may just change next week. And recently we actually listed a property knowing market value was 1.3, but the following day, a comparable property came on the market for 1.1. Now, are we upset with that seller that underpriced their property and brought the neighborhood values lower? To some extent, although we have to be compassionate because we don't know what they're going through and maybe they just need to sell the property. And I'm commonly asked by homeowners if they're better off pricing their property for a bidding war or pricing their property the traditional way and leaving room for negotiation. And in this market, the answer to that is it depends on your location and it depends on the way homes are typically being sold. If you're in one of those highly desirable areas where listings are always selling over asking price, then you're likely going to be better off following that approach because that's what buyers may be used to. Like, they see the list price, but they understand they have to have a budget of more than the list price because that's what typically happens in that neighborhood for that particular kind of home. And bidding wars are actually still happening in this market, specifically for the freehold homes that are less than a price of $1 million or $1.2 million. Looking at this chart, we can see the areas which have homes selling the fastest, leading with the Westbrook area of Richmond Hill, where the average days on market is only 7. We also have neighborhoods in Scarborough, Markham, Pickering, Whitby, but you can see that the price ranges of all these properties are close to the $1 million mark. And now we're looking at the neighborhoods where homes are selling the slowest, leading with the specific area of King, where the median price is $1.817 million. King's always been a slow city to sell, though. All the neighborhoods are pretty much like that with 69 days on the market, but we can also see different areas of Toronto, Mississauga, North York, and these are ranging between 50 to almost 70 days on the market. And if you're wondering who is buying real estate in this nervous market that we're in, it's mostly downsizers. It's also people that need to make a location move. For example, people are starting to move out of downtown Toronto because of the major construction going on there, or they're moving to Yonge and Eglinton or perhaps York region. And the couple of buyer profiles that we're not seeing too often in this market anymore are upsizers as well as investors. Now, with the upsizers, although it may mathematically make sense for them to purchase a property now, given that they can get a bigger home in most cases for far less than what they would have gotten before, we also have to consider the bigger picture. What if they're to lose their job tomorrow? We just don't know in this market, and for that reason, people are being more cautious, rightfully so. And we're seeing far less investors buying in the Greater Toronto area now. It seems that investors are still comfortable buying real estate, but they may buy in the US. Maybe they'll buy outside of Ontario. Buying real estate in the Greater Toronto area, unfortunately, doesn't seem that attractive right now. Looking at this chart here, we're comparing the past 5 years and prices have barely gone up. At the same time, the rental prices are actually the lowest they've been in the past 19 months. So buyers that would have normally purchased a property they could rent out, they would be a bit hesitant because the past 5 years shows us that the property may not appreciate in the short term, and also the rental prices wouldn't increase. Therefore, their property may be cash flow negative. And one of the things I've noticed recently is that there's more motivated sellers in the market. Like, some of the homes which are coming on the market because the sellers can't afford the mortgage payments and they've chosen to rent. In that case, they want any equity that they have from the property and just want out of it. We're also seeing a lot of pre-construction closings. So people that have purchased property pre-construction, they're finally at that time when the property's built, it's ready to occupy and close. And these homeowners have come to realize that now interest rates are a little bit higher than what they were when they initially purchased the property. Also, the fact that they don't have the same job security as they did back then, and holding on to that property or moving into that new construction home would be far too much much stress on them, so they're choosing to sell the property, and very likely they're selling it at a price that's lower than what they had purchased the property for. And you may be one of those viewers as well. Understand you're not the only one, and people have lost hundreds of thousands of dollars in real estate in this market. And circumstances like this, as well as the high cost of living, could have helped come to the conclusion that was found in this poll here, where they found that 4 out of 10 people in Ontario actually want to leave the province. And a recent article stated that if you're in Toronto, it would now cost $61,654 after tax just to get by. And looking at this image, we're comparing different cities of Canada to see how much income you need in order to purchase a property. And Toronto, it's not as bad as Vancouver. In Vancouver, your household income would have to be $255,000 in order for you to purchase a property. In Toronto, $232,000. And Canada as a whole, the average is $150,000, $500. A few of my spring market predictions would be that we will see the interest rates come down once again during the next interest rate announcement. I'm also going to predict that the average price will increase between 2 to 4%, and the number of transactions should be between 5 to 6,000 during the months of March as well as April. And I hope you continue to watch these videos to stay informed, and I'll share more predictions as we progress throughout the year. And if you are considering buying or selling, make sure to call me. And if you're a real estate agent looking for a great brokerage, I'm happy to connect with you to share with you more about what EXP can offer you in building your business. I appreciate your support and look forward to seeing you next time.